Let's go!
Welcome back to another week of Pace Pals. We have an awesome interview in store for you all this week. Our guest, Jaquarium JQ. You can find him twitch.tv/Jaquarium and then Twitter and YouTube at Jaquarium _ JQ, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Honored to be a part of this. Excited to be a part.
We're
Glad you guys
happy
are
to
doing
have you.
this.
I mean, we're
Yeah,
thrilled to have you on the show. It's great to
Thanks.
have you
super
here.
excited. Super excited. You were I feel like you were one of the first people that we were like, "Oh, we got to get JQ on." Right?
I know that when you said
100%.
that to
You're a
me, it
vibes
made me
guy.
feel like that made me feel good.
Yeah. I mean, we said it from the beginning. You're a vibes guy. I'm a huge fan. I love hanging out in your stream. It's just like great place to be, great atmosphere. You're a very entertaining streamer.
Thank you,
So
man.
we're stoked to have you on today.
Appreciate it.
Before we get into it, I don't want to be rude. Zias, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. This is kind of weird. There's sunlight in my window doing an interview, and I don't think this has ever happened.
This is
So
the first time.
It's like it's glaring right here. It's weird, but yeah, no, I'm doing good, man.
I
I'm
think
doing
it's our
Getting some
first
sun over there.
matinee recording. Everything else
Yeah,
has been a
right.
nighttime, prime time event.
I,
So I do want to give you a little introduction. I shouted out your socials. Everyone, please go follow. JQ is close to partner, and he absolutely deserves it. Of all the streamers I know out there, few are more deserving, if any. So go get him there. Go watch a stream. Check it out. He's the man. His streams are super fun. JQ, you run 70, 120, and a sprinkle of 16. I know it's not your main, but you do have very impressive times there too. In fact, you have a 15, 49, and 16 star, 93rd place, which is incredible. And then 120, you have a 140, 13, which puts you in 29th place. And then your bread and butter, I would say, let me know if you disagree, 70 star, a very impressive, blistering 47, 43, 20th place. I mean, so impressive. Top 100 in all three of those categories. And then your current pace standings, you're tied for ninth with 9 points, only 10 outside of qualifying. How do you feel about your pace performance so far?
uh, well, like I'll be honest. After the first qualifiers, I was like making dinner. I was so jazzed up. I was like, holy shit! I was doing so great. I think it was a 140.38 that I had gotten, and like it was like 139 potential, and I was just so happy about it, and I was just so looking into the second qualifiers, and the second qualifiers, I was getting blown up by upstairs. Like upstairs was just like every single run I had, like I would always have a terrible DDD 100, and then I'd get upstairs and then just wedge World was awful. THI was awful. And then it would be like 140.15 best possible time. As soon as I got like to TTM, it's just like it's so hard to just be like, all right, forget everything that happened. Let's just focus, play the damn game, like get golds. And it's just like once it starts getting away from you like that, it's so hard to keep up.
How does that mentality compare? You know, when you're doing the LTA, you have these frustrating runs, and you know you got to kind of just get back on the horse, and you have to get another one to improve your time. How does that compare to like a normal day of PB attempts?
I feel like I mean, at least when I'm doing like normal PB attempts, I kind of treated it like PB attempts because it's like, all right, if I'm gonna get top five, I have to get like a 139 because the competition is just way too good at this point. From like top like one to top 15, like all those groups in it are just like so tight, especially with Carpetless, that it's just like such a struggle to be able to get like something that's a minute off of PB and still not be able to qualify, which is like that's just insane. I feel like I have to say that. That's just insane. The fact that like a minute off of my PB is like not even like barely even close to being able to qualify. So it's just like even without like some competition like Liam and Simply, like if they were a part of it, then it would be like, okay, yeah, like maybe it's not possible. But like with a few top runners and Japanese runners like taking a like step back from it, it's just like it's it's so hard to keep up with everybody. But I feel like my mindset, I'm more relaxed when I'm doing attempts on stream. During pace, it's like kind of like what I was saying about other runners. Like, there's so many people, you have to compete to their level, do as good as them, and it works in the beginning. Like in lobby, the first qualifier in lobby, I was getting like best split times after best split times. Like it's happening so much, and then I don't know, being able to keep up with that and like keep trying to push as the run goes further, as you're getting more nervous. It's just like it's hard to maintain that same mindset like throughout of it.
There's just so many like different factors at play. I feel like when you're doing the LTA, just opposed to just being your own element in your stream, it's got to be a lot to deal with, and like such a long run to like hour 38, hour 39 minimum.
Yeah, and I'm
Like
not like I'm not even like super used to it. Like coming from 70 like 50-minute run, it's fine. But like an hour and 40 minutes, I've only been like fully committing 120 to like a year full amount of time, where I feel like 70 I've put in like 3.5 years. So like even just the inconsistencies I'm not used to, and that like plays into a technical side of it, of like staying on top of your game, and the mental side of it, like staying on top of that game as well. Like it's two separate playing fields at once that have to like coincide together, that just creates just an awful like blend of like negative mindset and negative gameplay that can happen. Sometimes it can go well, but
Well, I feel like too with, I mean, to your point, a 50-minute run versus hour 40, we're looking at like twice the length. But you're already fatigued by that 50-minute point, and so I feel like it almost compounds. So that second 50 minutes is even more tiring and taxing. And I don't know, just from my limited experience dabbling in 120 star, it's like when you get a run up there, it's just like so much more intense than getting a 70-star run deep. Again, I'm not like very high on the leaderboards on either one, but it's like, well, I put an hour and 20 minutes into this run. Like, to lose it is losing so much more time than if I lose 35 45 minutes in a 70 run and I lose it upstairs or in Tippy. And so it's just like it kind of compounds and it makes it that much more difficult. And so if you're losing multiple runs upstairs, like, that's got to be so much more taxing and frustrating to then have to like get back up and be like, all right, well, I got to like do it all over again, before this
yeah.
LTA ends.
Like I get out of BBH and I'm fucking gassed, man.
Yeah.
Like then you got to go into DDD 100 right after.
Yeah.
As soon as I get out of BBH, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. And then I go into this star that is just like the most awful, most nerve-wracking experience, especially if like right in the beginning, if you miss like one or two coins, it's just like it becomes like a wild goose chase to just like grab anything. And then the sub movement at the end, and then you got to deal with upstairs after, and even Fire C between it, which like Fire C isn't like terrible, but if you make a slight mistake in that thing, it's just 15 seconds like yoinked right out of there. Like it's so difficult to like stay on top of your shit the whole time, especially with all the hardest stars in the game, basically.
it's a
Fire.
gauntlet.
It
It's
is
a gauntlet. It really is.
Fire C is like it's something I feel like I've started to appreciate. I've been watching a lot of, obviously with pace, a lot of 120 lately and high level 120. And it is crazy how, cause like for me, it's like if I get, early Ellie's and Fire C, like sick, that's a bonus, but it's not expected.
Yeah.
But obviously for everyone competing at the pace level, it's like, no, you literally have to. Or if you're going for a PB, you have to. Like, it's such a significant time difference. I just can't even imagine having to play with that little margin of error. It's so
Yeah.
brutal.
In 70, Fire C is treated, at least for me, it's like the gatekeeper. Like, when I'm on like 25 OX pace or something, I get super nervous about Fire C because like one little mistake and it's over. Fire C in 120, I'm like, I just did the hardest fucking star 2 minutes ago. I'm gonna have to go with like the hardest fucking star like 5 minutes from now. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Fire C is just like kind of a blink and it's gone in 120.
So, what is, in your opinion, what is the hardest star? If you had to pick one in the 120 run.
For me, DD 100
Yeah.
right now. I've been like messing with like alternate movements for that like triple jump. Like shout out Dista for helping me with this like different camera angle to get the fast triple jump to the like last red.
Yep.
But it's just like, especially like where it is in the run, mixed with like how difficult swimming is, mixed with how ass the camera is and the lag is, mixed with how annoying the sub movement is. It's just like for me personally right now, it creates like the hardest star in the run. Like that concoction just makes it so difficult.
How nervous do you get approaching it when you're like doing
So
front sub?
I start shaking.
I
That's like the
believe it.
only like HMC 100 and like other basement stars. Like I'll get nervous and I'll get in my head, but like I will literally feel it like in my chest and in my hands going for that triple jump right at the end because it's just such an awful time loss and it just like it takes the wind out of your sails so quickly just for the keeping the run going. I've choked like so many like 103 up potentials. Like I think it was in the second qualifier I got my first ever 54 BBH, which like I don't think is a benchmark for 103. It could be like a little bit better than like a 103.59, but I treat that as like, okay, this is a great run. This can get 103. And then immediately losing 25 seconds in that star right after because I'm just thinking about it so much. It sucks, man.
What do you find yourself when you get that nervous? Because I know I do this. If I feel myself get really, so like the most nervous I get, I have been playing 16 star a lot. I'm trying to get a 15. I have a meme PB of a 16 flat, which is awesome. I've had it for like a year, and I still can't get it. Anyway, when I get into bits on pace, like after I get through BLJs and it's like, oh shit, this is real. I'll start to like see spots. I get so nervous, and then all I can think about is like how nervous I am. And then I'm not even thinking about the game anymore. I'm thinking about like, oh, I need to stop being this nervous. Do you find yourself like thinking about being like just you're not even focusing on the game because you're just like your mind is elsewhere?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times when I'm like in the run and like pre-up for example or like in BBH and it's a good run, I'm just able to like focus and just autopilot, do what I have to do. But then as soon as it becomes like a star worth noting, like I don't know, like SL 100 for example, just because like it's just something that can go so brutally wrong that like I start to think about like, well, what if it does go wrong? And then as soon as that thought like comes through, like you're in your head, like it's over. And when I did 70 back when I would go into bits, I would literally like I would feel like a tunnel would go into my vision and I would just be like, whoa, like what is this like physical feeling that I don't know what I'm feeling right now?
Yep.
And like how the hell am I supposed to like hit right side when I was getting 47, like hit right side, do everything correctly and still hit the throws? Like I've learned how to manage it better at this point, but with 120 when you're in like wet dry world and you're starting to feel that a little bit because the run is so good, it's just like what the hell's happening? Like I'm not used to this.
You still have like 38 minutes or something ridiculous left.
Yeah, there's still like half an entire run left. It's so like it's like you said, Zias, it's a gauntlet. It's a marathon. It's scary. I didn't realize how hard this category was.
120 is crazy.
I knew it was hard, but I was like, I can't believe it's this difficult. And I'm practicing like 8 hours a day just to try to keep up, and I can't. Like runners are improving so much, like so fast, and I feel like sometimes I like go backwards in terms of like maybe I'm practicing too much. I took a break from the game and I came back like, hey, maybe this will change things. And no, I'm still resetting in SSL half the time. Like, I
feel like at some point everybody just has that like breakthrough though, you know? Like I feel like you have to hit a wall first in order to just like, you know, just bust through.
Yeah.
I feel like it happens to so many people. So, you know, you'll have your bust through moment. You'll pop out with the 139. I feel like it'll happen in no time. I feel like you're consistently getting on those paces. So I feel like it's just a matter of time at this point.
Yeah, I think
that's right.
I think it's a mental block.
I
really think it's a mental block.
I think too, there's a tendency to focus, like hyper focus on your own mental blocks more than you see others when they're going through them. And then when you see them break through, like you almost do the opposite. Like you focus on their success. Cause I notice me doing that. Like I notice every single person who gets a 15 and 16 star, and I'm like, obviously I'm happy for them, but there's also an element of like, damn, why can't it be me? Like what is wrong? Like, why can't I figure it out? And I'm so hyper focused on the fact that like I can't move forward with like my progress, and like I feel like, you know, and I'm in my head with like different parts. It's like, well, now I don't remember how to do bits at all. Like, how could I ever land 3 throws in a row? Like, that's just not a possibility. And like, you get in your head about different things. But I also know, having talked to like other people, they go through that too, and it's not as like obvious from my perspective when they're going through it. But I completely echo Zeus' sentiment. Like you're gonna break through. You'll get the 139. Also, didn't you PB like a month ago?
Yeah, I PB'd on Valentine's Day by like 14 seconds,
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love
which
that.
if it felt good. I don't even remember how good the run was. I think it was like something I had to like claw to keep going. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, like I'm already like beating myself up over it, and I just PB'd like a month ago.
Yeah.
Like it's just the nature of the game. It really is.
I think that's true. I also do. I wonder if you feel this way. I almost like the PB sometimes where it's like a bad start and it's like, okay, well, I basically have to play the best I can play from here on out to PB. But in a way, it's like that removes all the pressure because I'm already expecting to lose this run. And then if I happen to PB, it's great. Do you kind of
Yeah.
feel that way too?
Yeah, I sometimes when it gets to a point where it's like too bad, it's like okay, now I have to start relying on golds. And having to like force yourself to get gold sometimes doesn't go very well because like you haven't gotten them for a reason yet. Like
Just gold bits.
yeah,
Just gold
exactly.
bits.
One of the worst things that I would say, like going for 140 when Carpetless like first came around, being like, "Oh well, we got so much gold time in Rainbow Ride, man. Haven't gotten that good gold yet. Still haven't gotten that good gold yet." And it was always just such a fucking cope because it's like every time I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course we can gold this." I get the exact same nervous way that I did when I got the gold that's not good, and it's just like it's not gonna work. It's just setting myself up for failure at this point, or just like leaving the chat with like the biggest tank of copium just for them to like suck onto.
I was gonna say it's not bad to have that supply of copium though. You know.
Dude, the Rainbow Ride Gold was sick. Like at the end of the run, thinking like, all right, like Tippy isn't going that great, but we still have that, and it being like 1:40:10 best possible time, knowing that I have like 20 seconds to rely on, like it was a good feeling, but it's just like it was a setup for failure always.
Yeah.
It always was.
It's nice to have before, and then it sucks after every time when it's like, why did I lie to myself? I knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
The copium
Yeah.
hangover, man. It's so real.
It's always like the way it works is I will hit like I'll either hit just like the shittiest 100 coin or the best 100 coin and then miss Carpetless after. Then it's like, well, I could have did it if I just hit Carpetless.
Yep.
Then it's just like something even more just to cope onto because it's just like can't expect to hit Carpetless every time. But if I did though,
But if you
wouldn't
did.
that have been sick? Yeah.
It
that
just
would've
feeds
been
into like
awesome.
the copium the next time around because you're like, well, no, I know it. Like I know I'm gonna hit Carpless this time, obviously. So like, no big deal.
Yeah, especially during pace too. If you miss it once, in my head, I'm like, oh, there's no fucking way I miss it again, man. And it's of course I'm gonna miss it again.
So we've asked other people about this. Where do you stand on the Carpetless star order? Are you first, middle, last in Rainbow Ride?
I'm a last guy. It's kind of
Ooh.
like I always did this in 70 and it transferred over to 120. In my mind, when I first learned breezeless, I always saw like D and other runners. I think it was D, possibly even like Punkay, like go for it first in like 120, and I was just like, what if you hit it though? Like, doesn't that make you so nervous for the rest of the run? Or like you're like, oh man, like this is gold pace.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like seeing that, like hitting Carpetless, and then like, oh, you got to do the 100, you got to do Lakitu bounce and triangles and everything else. And I noticed I was a little late to the Carpetless party because I couldn't figure out orthogonal. Right when orthogonal was discovered was when I started derusting 120. It's just kind of like a huge wave of like, oh wow, like this game just changed it a lot. So I held off on it for a minute and seeing the early beginnings of runs when people first started doing it, and I think it was Marlene had like a 136 pace run before anyone had gotten it yet, and they hit Carpetless and then were just like fumbling the bag in the 100 coin. No disrespect obviously, but like they were just so nervous that they couldn't like they couldn't just keep playing because it's just you just saved 50 seconds in a run where 6 months ago that would have been unheard of, and now you have to continue playing, especially on that 100 coin. 100 coin's so difficult.
I think I remember that run that you're talking about, and then I remember I think the the last straw was on like reds or something. I remember them being over in that area and like falling off the little yellow elevator that goes back and forth, and like everyone being so sad because it was like, no, this was supposed to be the one, like we got past Carpetless. And I mean, it is crazy the nerves that you must be playing under. Way more than any other PB you've probably ever experienced, because it's like this is a chance at like not just world record but like history, like insane world record with Carpetless, like massive time cut.
It's such a substantial run. I can understand the nerves from that because the implications of what that run could potentially be in terms of like, obviously, like you said, the history of the game and everything like that. But that's why I always decided to go for it last. It's just like, if I'm going to get nervous after hitting it, I'd rather be nervous for 1 star and 3 throws rather than 7 stars and 3 throws.
Yeah. I think Callie pointed out too that if you're going to be nervous after Carpetless, you do it last. You're nervous for bits. You're already nervous for bits. You're never going into bits on PB pace not nervous. So it's like, is it really that different? Which I thought was a really good point.
Yeah, and I also, like, in 120, it's a little harder because I'm not as good at, like, bits as I am, like, bits no reds. So, like, my mentality in 70 was like, oh, this is like a victory lap. Like, you made it to bits, like, this is your chance to, like, swag out, make everyone happy. Then, like, bits reds, it's a little more scary because they're scarier jumps. There's a lot more that can go wrong. You can fall off right after grabbing the last red.
Yep. Ugh.
That thought always goes through my mind as I grab. You get the cutscene on the 8th red, and I'm just like, dude, if you fucking fall off right now, like, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
It's so stressful watching, especially since like I'm not a 120 runner, so I know the star, but I don't know it that well, and so like I don't know the precise angles. Whereas like watching 16, I can be like, oh, that's not gonna work before it happens. 120, it's like I have no idea if this is gonna work, so the whole time I'm just like all my muscles clenched, like so nervous.
Yeah, I'm not practiced at that star either really too much, so it's just like, it's a nightmare right at the end. The throws I don't get that nervous for because I know there's a lot of like, I can kind of miss a throw and still be good for most like PBs, whereas 70 and 16, it's like hit them or the run's over.
Yeah.
Like I know Beeve, for example, I know he didn't want to miss that throw, but I know he did miss a throw in that 139. He was still like, he was just so far ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's indicative of his skill, but like he was so far ahead that he could miss the throw and still be good. And that's like a good feeling to have.
That was awesome. GG's to Beeve. I was so nervous when he did miss that throw. I was like, I think he should be fine, but I'm not totally sure. Oh man, that was great though. And then his pop off was awesome. I'm stoked for Beeve.
I think he might have forgotten because he didn't say it to me, but I technically owe him 5 guys, which I'll probably buy him at pace. It's like a week and a half ago or something. He was like, hey, do you want to make a bet to see who can get 139 first and the other person will buy them 5 guys? And I was like, yeah, sure. Little did I know that he was like literally going to get it a week later, and I wasn't even playing Mario. I was playing the like climbing game off on the side. I was just having fun.
Beeve just
he was like, yeah, he was grinding.
He's
been grinding.
He's like, I got a free meal to 5 guys right here. I'm about to cash in on this.
Yeah. It's all that's going through in his mind when he missed that throw. He's like, fuck that meal right now. And it's 5 guys. So it's like a $30 meal, man.
It's like shockingly expensive.
Yeah. So it's like he's playing for a decently priced, good meal, I will say, but pretty fucking expensive.
$30, and that's not even with a shake. You get a shake with that?
Oh my god!
You're basically giving up your house.
Highway robbery.
I'm saying.
Spending a month of rent on fucking 5 guys. They're barely putting bacon on the burger. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
It's $5 for bacon. They put 2 slices on this shit.
It's the most expensive bacon of all time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Those Cajun fries, though.
Oh, dude, not even get me started.
Oh, favorite.
Cajun fries go so hard.
Yeah, I could. As much as I could talk about Mario, I could talk about like
Yeah.
Five Guys. I seriously could.
Is Five Guys your favorite fast food restaurant?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a while because I moved and there isn't one very close to me,
Mm.
which is
Damn.
probably a good thing because like they're taking my wallet.
Yeah.
But instead, I just spend my rent payment on McDonald's Uber Eats,
Yep.
which like they're basically taking my fucking arm as he's dropping off the food because it costs so much.
Yeah. Uber Eats is brutal. I feel like it's always hidden shit too. Like whatever you see in the menu, and then all of a sudden I'm paying like 3 times as much, and it's like, where did any of this come from? But at this point, I'm mentally committed. Like I'm not backing out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The one in my hometown doesn't even have a drive-through anyway. So if I didn't want to pay the prices, I have to fucking walk 20 minutes to get it, go inside and grab it, and then walk my ass back home while the food gets cold.
Not a
Just like,
chance in the world.
I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'd rather just pay the convenience.
What McDonald's doesn't have a drive-thru? I thought that was like a requirement.
Yeah.
I like it's a. I live in kind of like a college town area.
Okay.
So like it's kind of like one block of streets that just has like restaurants and stuff like on top of each other basically.
Got it.
That makes sense, yeah.
You know.
I think I've seen places like that before, like fast food restaurants that typically do have drive-throughs that are kind of in like these cramped, kind of like hole in the wall kind of locations, and they can't afford or they don't have the space to have a drive-through.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
annoying.
I feel like it makes sense in a college town setting too, because like most of the students are probably walking around and
Yeah, and it's like jam packed with bars around anyway. So most of the time their business is coming from like drunk college kids like going in late at night rather than like families driving up to it with their kids.
So you're circling back to Mario really quick. You're 70 stars, your bread and butter. It's your main boo. It's your true love. You know, the 120 arc is very real right now, but you got the 47. I believe that was a very, very big goal of yours.
Yeah.
What's kind of in store for 70 star? Have you really thought about it? Are you going to try to push for that 46? Like, what's the mentality going around that?
I've thought about it. It depends on it. I would say a lot of what's riding on it depends on where I'm at in terms of the summer league. It's like the SM64 community summer league. I usually hold off on like other categories, but I'm trying to go all in 120. I've historically like hated the category. I've always had like negative like space with it because I came from having a 49 into going into 120 and expecting myself to be good at it. And then you get to 120 and it's just like, yeah, we're not doing that.
classic mistake.
Yeah, no, it's like it. I would say it's probably like that's like the biggest mistake in my Mario career is thinking that I would get sub 2 so quickly, and then like I nearly like quit playing the game because I would just get beat the fuck up by the game.
Yep.
Because I'm unpracticed, I'm inconsistent. But I think it really depends on where I'm going to be with 120 at that point. Obviously, because pace qualifiers are going to end soon. So, like, I don't have an obligation to grind 120 super hard, but I think I owe it to myself to really, like, give it a fair shake, to give it as hard of a grind as I did for 70, just to see where I end up. Because I would like to have, like, top 20, top 10 times in, like, 70 and 120. But I've never put in the work for it in the past, and now it's just like putting in the work is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's something I'm willing to do just to like kind of see it through, you know?
So then is it like if you were to have an end goal in mind for a 120 grind, is that like a leaderboard position top 20, or is it a specific time, or is it a combination, or what are you thinking?
I think it would be time. I think because once I get 139, I'm going to have to go back in the lab and like improve a bit, do like some segment RTA and stuff just to kind of get myself to the level to get 138. But like I would kind of like to go further. Like 138 would be like a sick goal, especially like in the Carpetless era because it feels like a legit, like super duper good time.
Yeah.
But like, I could see myself enjoying it so much to the point that like, I just kind of put 70 fully on the back burner and just like go hard with 120. See if I could get like low 138, 137 down the road.
Hell yeah.
Mm.
So then
It's fun.
so you're enjoying it more then? Because you said traditionally it's been negative space. You haven't, you came in with these expectations, which I feel like every accomplished runner in one category when they transition categories, that's such a common thing.
Yeah.
And you overlook the time it takes to actually learn the category because there's obviously some transferable skills. Your movement's going to continue, but you have to practice the stars. You know what I mean? Like there's still an element that's unique to that category. So do you feel like you've kind of flipped that mindset with 120 then?
I've been hot and cold with it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like when I first got 140 and like first hit Carpetless for the first time in a run, I was loving it. I was like, dude, the possibilities right now of like where I can see myself ending up are endless. Then the stage RTA like Winter League came up, and that was just like that like unlocked so much motivation for me. They ran that like for the short amount of time that they did, they ran it so well, and the incentives to improve were so good that it just like I was like ferally motivated to improve at the game. And now it's kind of dwindling off a little bit, like the hangover from it, and like where I'm kind of at with the game, and not feeling tangible improvement
Yeah.
necessarily, like in terms of runs and like getting golds and best split times and stuff. Like it hasn't been happening super much lately, so I feel the enjoyment like dwindling off a little bit. But I think that just means that I gotta work harder at the game to
I
get there.
believe Dista just announced a stage RTA tournament, right?
Yeah, he did.
Are you gonna be participating in that? Or are you gonna be going hard at it?
Yeah, I'm signed up. I don't know how
Let's
much like
go.
stage RTA practice I'll do for it, but I know there's some good people that will be participating in it. And
Mhm.
like the top two, like Failman and Cali, how was I think that was the leaderboard in the winter league, like the top two. So I'm really excited to see if I could like keep up with them in like a melee sort of like tournament. Like the format is just like fucking awesome.
For the uninformed, what is the format?
I don't know if you want to say it's Zeus or if you want me to try to like explain it.
Um, I think I think I know the general, like, is it kind of like the Winter League where there's like tiers, or I'm not really, I don't think I'm 100% familiar as I should be.
So from to my knowledge, what is going on with it is he's gonna do like a 2 week period for seeding for like people to do 120 runs to like seed, and I think it's supposed to be like top 16 people get into like the actual like event, but I don't think there's enough signups yet. Which so if you want to do it, sign up for it. But and then I think it goes into like top 16 like bracket. I think it's double elimination, and it's basically like melee but stage RTA, like strike stages and then
That's
race a
so
stage
cool.
RTA at the same time. Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, I love that idea. One of my favorite things is when like new formats of tournaments come out, and I love seeing people be creative in that space.
Yeah. I know I think I don't remember who exactly he like took the inspiration from, but I know he's been kind of like stewing with this for a minute, and now like seeing it come to fruition is like really exciting. And I know at least yesterday he was pumping ads for like the tournament prize pool. So like he's gonna try to have like an actual like legit prize pool with like payouts for people and stuff.
That's awesome.
So it has the potential to be a really like sick event,
That's really
especially
cool.
with like some of the competition of people participating.
I feel like people have been so supportive of community tournaments. I don't know, maybe in like the past year or so, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's a huge appetite for them, and people are really enjoying them, which is awesome to see. Obviously.
Yeah, I'm a huge sucker for 1v1 stuff. Like seeing the stuff that you like produce, Zeus, like
Yeah.
the winter tournament was really like it was really fun to keep up with and watch.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I love stuff like that. I know LTA is kind of like the format for competitive Mario right now, but I feel like we're missing like
Mm.
1v1 stuff, and I know you've been kind of like holding that on your shoulders recently.
I gotta keep the dream alive, the 1v1 dream alive, man.
Dude, people like me, I love that shit, man. Coming from like when I first started playing, and like LTAs weren't really that big, and it was like mainly 1v1 tournaments. Like they were so much fun, and they were so exciting, and like just like the competitive aspect that it brings. It's
Mm.
different with LTAs, but it's just like that kind of like competitive 1v1 thing is something that I like absolutely love.
I
I think
think
it's so great.
I think I couldn't see myself really doing a lot of LTA stuff, but I'm just like I'm a really big sports guy, so I think the
Mhm.
1v1 just naturally makes more sense. Like just so many hype like sports games that I've seen throughout my life, and yeah, the 1v1 just is it's the dream format for me. I
It's
respect LTA, but
it's
1v1's great.
playoffs. It
Yeah,
Yeah.
feels like it's
it's
like
so
playoffs in
true.
any
Yes.
sport.
Yes. It's I mean, we've talked about this with a lot of our guests, but I agree. I think we might be oversaturated with LTAs at this point. I still think there's like a benefit to LTAs, and I think there's like the pace qualifiers are awesome, and the way they kind of take up like a weekend, like that's a cool thing. I wouldn't really want that to change, but I think there needs to be more 1v1 stuff happening. Like I think we've swung the pendulum. Oh man, I just hit my mic. We swung the pendulum too far in one direction. I feel like that happy medium exists, but we're a little too far to the LTA side right now because the
Yeah.
excitement you get in a one, like the intensity, which I mean to your point, it matches playoffs perfectly. Like my brain goes to playoff baseball because I think that's probably the biggest difference between regular season and playoffs in any sport because like regular season you have 162 games, like yeah it matters, but you're not hanging on like the edge of your seat for every pitch, whereas if you go to like a live playoff baseball game, it's like every single pitch is the most important thing that's ever happened. You need every call, and it's like that intensity is tangible in the air. And you kind of match that with a head to head. We haven't aired the West Dog episode yet, but by the time this one comes out, we'll have aired it. We talked to him a lot about his Super 16 from 2021. And then like the matches there. I can't remember. We're I think bleeping out some of the details as an incentive. So I can't remember exactly what I can and can't talk about. But the races there were just like so hype, and as a viewer to watch like the lead changes and every mistake means so much. The consequences for like the tiniest little mistake are so huge when it means the other person can leapfrog you and take the lead, and it's just like it's the best. I mean, I think it's honestly speedrunning competitive speedrunning at its height is those 1-to-1 matches.
Dude, I was on vacation during that tournament, and I think it was, I don't know. Can I talk about details of the tournament? Is that fine?
Yeah, I think we what are we bleeping out? It's the Kano Ouija.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only one that we're like,
Oh,
give people incentive to like go watch them, you know?
Yeah.
but like I remember being like my family was like doing something, and I was like in the room. I think it was when Sweegie set like the race record.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like this is awesome. Like I was missing like stuff with my family just because it was just like it was such a good race, and it was just so damn exciting. Like it's hard to not like be excited about those things just because they're so fun.
Like
The
it was
competitive
truly
side
so
is
engrossing as a
great.
viewer, right? I mean, like
Mhm.
I was also on vacation. It was she was my girlfriend at the time, now wife, but like I was on vacation with Gringa's family, and we were at like lunch, and I just like had my phone out and was like sneaking looks. I was like, I can't look away. It's too good.
Yeah, it's too good. Especially, oh my god, those runners were so great.
Yeah, I mean the caliber of runner too, and it was also we talked about this with Wes, so we don't need to get too into it. But it was like the perfect circumstances. It was when everyone was starting to get 14s, so it was just like the timing couldn't have been better. But to your point about like how engrossing this stuff is, I mean, what drew me into speedrunning, how I discovered speedrunning Mario was GSA reruns of when they had the 16-star league. This was forever ago, and I found it in 2020. But I remember watching replays of the finals of that league between Cheese and Aki, and it was just like, wait a minute, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm immediately obsessed. And we were out of we were like staying a night at a hotel just to like get away and out of our house. And I remember as soon as we got back to our apartment the next day, I like got an emulator legally. I don't know what the legal status of that is. I probably should. Everything was legal and kosher. Don't look into it. And I like started like learning bomb clip, and I've been hooked ever since, almost 4 years later. But it's like, I do think that could be a great way to grow the game even more. And I think there's more space. We need like some sort of regular 1v, head to head type stuff. I think would be awesome for the community.
Yeah. Hey, Zeus, if you ever, I know like you've been highlighting a lot of the like middle to higher level runners of the game, but top runners would sign up for that shit, bro.
Hey, trust me, I've been thinking about it.
Ooh.
That makes me happy.
I was actually talking to Sab yesterday. I messaged him. I was like, "Oh, congrats on the 139," and he was like, "Oh, can't wait for the next 120 30." I'm like, "Okay, you might be a bit far out of range for that, but if I've been thinking about this pro 30, people who are like 140, 139, 138 level. So hey, maybe one day."
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be like, I would 100% be so happy for that. Even just to participate and to watch. Because those, like that level, and especially like circling it back around a pace, that 139 to like 140 level of runners that I'm like currently in is like, I would argue it's like the like most competitive like group of runners currently. Like from like going all the way down to like the best ranked person like Blue Bob, all the way to like me and like Deku Dude, like that like group of 6 to 7 people, like Sab, Beeve, me, Deku, Blue Bob. I don't know if Fail Man, that's who I was forgetting. Like we're all like so good and so close to each other. I think Blue Bob is a little bit ahead because he's just so damn good at the game, but all of us, like the 5 of us, are so close to each other, and I just feel like that in a 1v1 setting, especially because like LTA setting, it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see the leaderboard changes. I feel like head to head would make for like some great content.
Man, you're selling it like really hard right now. You're selling it so hard.
I'm giving you the
gotta
hard
do
sell.
I might have to cook it up maybe sooner than I anticipate. Hey,
big storyline, guys, right?
Big storyline, guys.
Here's the other thing, Zeus. Once Pace ends in June, what are we covering?
Shit.
I'm just saying that could be. I think we need it for the sake of the podcast.
I mean, yeah.
We're just creating our own content to cover.
That couldn't have sold it better than I could, Gio. That was just like everything that I was saying is just like leading right into you saying that. Like,
I mean, we got the sales pitch down.
Doing it for content.
Yeah. No, we've been working CS like low key.
Yeah, JQ and I rehearsed this like 9 times over the course of the last week.
Just remember to DM me your PayPal later.
We have a contract already written up. We'll send it. We'll circulate it. We'll get it signed. Don't worry.
Let me just move this piece of paper I have here out of view a little bit.
I want to circle back to Pace and talk about the third round a little. Obviously, we talked about how stoked you were after the first round and you killed it. You had a 140 and change, and then second round 142. You had some trouble upstairs. You mentioned you're currently sitting 10 points out of 7th. You're tied for 9th with Kano and Beeve. So you need to make up 10 points on Gothic Logic if you want to qualify. Is that on your mind? What's kind of your mindset going into this third round? What are your expectations?
For this round, it's going to be tough, man. So many things sort of have to align in order for me to be able to get that. So like kind of the things that are going on in my head in terms of like implications of what can happen, like would need like Ouija, for example. He's already set. Nobody's going to get more than 40 points. Like he could not participate and open up a whole new spot Dowski's doing 16 right now. I don't know what his like mind is towards 120, but he's still sitting in that like qualifying range. I don't know how like hard he's gonna like play or take it. Like Cheese and Punke and Cali are all like, they're gonna play. They're gonna do one run, get 139. They'll be okay. Like, how they do. But like the rest of the group with like potentially first place spot, like Ouija not participating, like it kind of opens like, hey, if I could get like a really good run, like maybe past Gothic and some of those guys, like maybe Beast doesn't have a good run or something, or like has like a hard weekend, and like I'm able to get like a PB, then like it could potentially open up. I don't know how many points like a fifth or a fourth place would get. I don't know if you have those numbers like on the side there.
Yeah, fifth gets 11, fourth gets 13.
Yeah, but the like in my mind, like if I could get something like that just off of like top like Ouija, for example, not playing,
Yeah.
and then like the other guys like not having as good of a weekend as I could potentially do, like that it's a long shot, like it's a Hail Mary, but like something like that, that's where my mind's been at. So I think at least I am not 100% sure yet if I'm going to participate on Sunday, just because of like things going on in my life.
Yeah.
But like Saturday, like I have it open. I just like I'm gonna try to go as hard as I can, get the best run that I can. But again, with the competition, man, I think you guys called it. I think in one of the recap episodes, you guys called it like Group 4 of like the area where I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
Group 4 just got a whole lot fucking harder. Like, Sab and Beeve getting 139s, like Deku shitting out runs left and right. Like, Kano, I don't know. I don't know what Kano's doing. I haven't been paying attention, but I'm sure he's playing the game. He's probably live right now. Like, there are ways that I could potentially make it work, but like I would still be happy if I could get like top 10. I think the last time last year I got 12th,
Yeah.
and that was like with like I wasn't playing 120 very much. There's obviously no Carpetless, so I was pretty proud with it. But for this one, I'm just remaining hopeful. Like I have a lot of work to do this week in terms of practicing
Yeah.
and like getting myself back up to snuff. But I've been thinking a lot about like what could potentially make it work. But it's a long shot, but I'm gonna try. You know, I gotta try.
This is look, just drop your 139 mid, why not, on Saturday. First run.
Exactly.
First run, get it out of the way, and then you're chilling.
Or this week, maybe sometime this week I get like a 139, 50 something. Mental block completely gone.
Yep.
All of a sudden I turn into like prime cheese, and
Yes.
like on Saturday I could just go ham.
Yep.
Like you never know.
I love it. I mean, I want it to happen. It'd be super fun to see you competing on the stage. That would be awesome. And I do think
That's the dream, man.
it'd be so sick. And to your point, like there is a lot of chaos in this third round. We've kind of highlighted it on past shows, but like, I mean, Ouija truly doesn't have to do anything. He's automatically qualified at this point. Nobody can pass him. Right. So nobody in the 7th, 8th range can pass him. So he's locked in. And then you're right. I think Cheese, Punk, and Cali need to literally drop one run, and it doesn't even matter what they get as long as they get points. And the points cut off in the last two were around a 144 in the first one, 142 in the second one. That's absolutely insane how competitive that second qualifier was. But like for them, that's pretty well within their range, to drop a no reset. I think they can comfortably rely on like maybe at worst like a 141. I mean, they're all so consistent. So they drop a run, and then if they want, they can be like, all right, I'm done. It doesn't matter. If they happen to drop, 140s, that leaves room for you to sneak above them. I mean, I don't know, never say never. It'd be sweet to see you storm in to the top 7.
And it's hilarious because I can confidently say that with like the top runners, like like the last qualifier, like 2 days before, Callie was like, "Oh, like I don't feel like I'm playing that well. Like I'm trying really hard to improve." And then the first fucking run, no LBLJ attempt, just does a no reset and gets a fucking like mid 138.
Yep.
Like you
138,
just
30.
like, yeah, it's just like confirmed they're gonna get their bag, and like it's a fight for like it's a fight for fifth through seventh.
Yeah. I mean, that's where
Unless
all the
somehow
action
somebody,
is.
yeah, yeah. Unless like Gothic like gets like a big PB, which obviously he's capable of. Like he's able to get the times that like they can or like that they get, but it's just like they've gotten those like number of runs so many times so that like a PB is harder to get, whereas like no resetting like a 138-30, yeah, it's still hard, but they can do it because they've done it so many times before.
Right.
I feel like that Cali run is like the perfect example of like levels in this game.
Yeah.
And like the levels of like top 4 in the qualifiers versus the rest of them. Like they are just like they are on a level that like it's like harder for people right outside of it, like Gothic and Beast, to like consistently keep up. Like obviously they're incredible at the game. They're so good and they are capable of getting those times. But being able to just like consistently do it like day in day out like they do, because they've just so much experience under their belt, like it's harder to keep up. And for us, like for like the 139 guys, it's like maybe, at least for myself, too tall of an order to keep up with them. I know Beeve and Sab, like they get on like insane paces, like 103 3x, 103 4x. I haven't even gotten a 103 yet.
It's
I've
coming.
just like been able to rely on like my upstairs being good,
Yeah.
and like it's just keeping up with them, even keeping up with Gothic and Beast and like Blue Bob. Like it requires a PB for me, which is why I'd like think about it kind of like in terms of having to get a PB, because I am just like I'm not on the level that they are unless I PB.
Yeah. Just got to break through that mental block.
Yeah, which it'll come through. It'll come through.
I believe.
I believe.
Thank you guys.
No,
I don't
you
know
gotta
when
believe.
and where.
You got to believe now.
If it what is the
You got to manifest it. It's got to start up here, though.
Hey, I'm just saying, if it just so happens that like my like mental block break just occurs at like March 23rd at like 2:30 p.m., like that would be like, I'm just saying, like
Call
the
it your
universe
shot.
like, could make it happen. Yeah, like that would make my day, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, everybody write that down. Everybody keep that in mind.
Yeah, think about 2:30 p.m. You never know what can happen. Why not us? You know,
Why not us?
us?
You bring up an interesting point. I hadn't really put it together. Obviously, the qualifiers are this coming weekend. We're recording this on Saturday the 16th. Dowski has switched to 16 star.
Yeah, I don't know what
What is that?
what he's doing. I haven't been able to watch his stream too much.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, it's Dowski, you know, like he's so good at the game.
Dowski's
that, like,
crazy.
I feel like he could catch up on his stride like pretty quickly. But like 16 to 120, they're like completely like different categories. There's with 70 to 120, there's a little bit of overlap. 16, there's like barely any.
I know at least like I'm basing this off of the few minutes I've caught of his stream over the last week, which is certainly not representative, but I know he's been like grinding fly, like true, like short category strats, like fly guy lists, which to my knowledge he doesn't do in 120. I don't actually know.
I don't think he does.
I don't know if anybody does.
I don't think anyone does either, but like it's kind of crazy to think about because yeah, I mean he's not even doing 120 specific stuff right now the week leading up to. But I mean, not that he necessarily needs to. Dowski is cracked at the game. He has a 138-30, I think, or around there,
Yeah.
23 or something. So, I mean, you never know. Maybe he's just taking a break and then he'll come back refreshed this weekend and just kill it. You
Yeah,
know, who
just go
knows?
ham.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's Dowski.
I would see that coming. I could also just see like Carpetless being a frustration.
Yeah.
Because it's a frustration for everybody. Like that's one of the reasons why I'd like took a break to like do some other things for like a week. It's just it's a mix of basement and Carpetless just like really giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
Making me not enjoy the game. But I still feel motivated towards it. said I'm gonna like kind of try to capture that feeling. Maybe that's what Dowski's trying to do. Get like some motivation from another category to come back and kill it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just having fun. Who knows?
I feel like that's.
Sometimes
Go ahead, Zeus.
I was gonna say sometimes that's really all it takes. I feel like if I'm a 70-star main, and if I ever hit kind of like a rut in 70-star, even in the same stream, I'll do like a few 16 attempts or something just to, like detox, which is crazy that 16-star is my detox category.
What is this 16 slander? What is this? What is this? Cut this. We're gonna cut this in post.
But you just do like a few attempts of 16, you go back to 70, and suddenly like everything's clicking again.
Yeah,
So,
even taking like a week off, like just like
Yeah.
a week to do like 16 or something. Like that's the way that I see it. It could just like re-unlock the fun that you were having with 120 to be able to kind of approach it in a different way. Because I feel like that's
100%.
like really important. It's really easy to get caught in like the same mindset, the same like mental blocks with 120. So like that kind of break, I feel like is probably, at least probably, a positive thing. I haven't found out yet because I've only been playing for a couple days since I like really came back from a week.
I think we're gonna see the results pay off. But I was gonna say a similar thing. Just playing the game in a different way can really kind of like remind you why you love it, because PB attempts are so frustrating. And I mean, by definition, you're trying to do the best you've ever done. Obviously, you're not going to succeed most of the time, especially when your attempt numbers get into the thousands or tens of thousands. It's like, yeah, the odds of this being the best ever are so slim.
Yeah.
But like for me, I noticed if I just start practicing, or just doing different stars, like I'll pick a 120 star that I don't know that well. Like Vanish Cap a while ago is something I picked up because I was like, it'd be cool to do this. And I practiced not even like the super hard cycle, but the one, before that, and just kind of like relearning or learning something new, and playing the game in a different way where there's no expectations and there are no stakes. It doesn't matter if I succeed or not. Kind of like reinvigorates me and reminds me that like, oh no, I do like this game. And then I can kind of carry that into like momentum to do runs again. And it definitely, sparks the flame and gets me going again whenever I'm in a rut.
Yeah. Once you kind of get into the foxhole of grinding and like trying to reach a goal, like I feel like you kind of stray from remembering how fun the game is. And like, yeah, I feel like with that, like your kind of example, like that kind of like brings you back down to earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the whole purpose of why you're playing the game. It reminds you of that.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that sometimes is like super necessary just to like
100%.
keep yourself going, especially for like if you're playing the game for a long time. Like I feel like if you just start, the game's always going to be fun because the game's always giving you something new. But I feel like once you've been playing for a while and you kind of see the same shit over again and you experience and deal with the same shit over again, it just like the fun quickly goes away.
Yeah.
And you need to like recapture that like feeling because PBs bring that feeling, but they don't always appear.
I mean, 100%. Like PB is why you do it. There's an element of reaching your goal. Sometimes, and different people are better at this. Like a good run, even if it doesn't PB, you can appreciate it for what it is. And I think, in my opinion, that's like the healthiest mindset. But it's easier said than done. But at the end of the day, like a true PB grind is not enjoyable. Like the payoff is sick. The payoff is awesome, and that's why you do it. But when you're in it, like it's not necessarily fun. Like it's work.
Yeah,
I mean, you're grinding for something you want. It's a mental battle of determination, and kind of pushing through a lot of shit to get to the other side because you want something badly enough. But it's not like the act of doing it isn't necessarily enjoyable. You do it for the end product, and that makes it worth it. But
Yeah.
you got to go through it to get there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough game, man. It
So
really
hard.
is.
SM64 is hard. Bold stuff coming out
Really
from
hot takes.
Taste here.
Real hot takes.
Yeah, I'm about to break everyone's mind with this. The game is hard.
What? No
one ever
way.
told me this.
These takes are too hot for the airways. We got to cut this.
Just wait a second. That's not why I started playing this game. I thought it was just gonna be easy.
JQ, I want to talk a little about your stream. How long have you been streaming?
Ooh. Consistently, it will be 4 years in April, I think. Right at
Nice.
the start of the pandemic is when I
Hell yeah.
started like hunkering down and like trying to seriously do it.
Hell yeah. Happy almost 4 years.
Thank you, man. It's been a wild journey, and it's been able to bring me like things that I never thought would be possible. COVID obviously was such like a horrible thing to like happen to the world, but like it did introduce me to streaming and like really grinding Mario. So like there's like something coming out of it that did like bring me and a lot of other people joy. It's like Twitch was exploding at that point.
100%.
Like during that time, and like I feel like everybody kind of needed something, but like that point in time really just like brought something that changed my life, really.
I mean, I feel the same. I'm also a pandemic Mario runner, and I feel like the exact same way. You know, it's because of the pandemic that I found Mario and kind of rediscovered Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at long distance at the time with my now wife with Gringa, and so there's like that selfish silver lining too, that like we were no longer long distance. So like there were a couple good things that came out of the pandemic, which is obviously like a weird statement to say given all the shit that happened, but I definitely am thankful that, you know, for those two things.
Yeah, I was trying to like choose my words carefully. It's like yeah, like it sucked and it still sucks, but at least like something in my life, like a few things like came into life at that point that like really like made it bearable to get through like lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
And like playing Mario is definitely one of them. And I'm still grateful to be able to do it like to this day.
Yeah. And to clarify, not pro pandemic. Oop.
Yeah.
Was that a Freudian slip?
Oh, it sounds like a streamer.
Jesus Christ.
Very anti-pandemic podcast, we swear.
Yeah. I save those views for the stream, man.
What's your typical streaming schedule?
I consider myself like the US work from home, EU like after hours stream.
Yep.
Like I know I have a lot of US viewers as well as EU viewers. So like I didn't like try to think like I'm gonna stream at like an EU friendly time. It's just like my mindset around it when I like built out a streaming schedule. It was like, you know what, I'm gonna start streaming while people were working from home, because that's exactly what the game gave me during the pandemic. It was like I was working like a ass job, like working from home, and like the only thing that I had, like obviously like me and Mayor would like text, but like we couldn't talk on the phone because I worked like a call center job. So like on calls like all the time with like faceless people, basically it was like pretty lonely. So being able to watch the streams that I did at the time, it like kind of it made the day a lot more bearable, and that's like kind of what I was hoping to like bring for people as well. Like I know people will watch at work, which like do you, man? I appreciate you. I know it's a little risky. I know it's risky, but like I do appreciate it, and it's always been yeah, that's kind of what my mindset's been around. It's just like for the work from home crowd, give you something to take away from like normal life.
You absolutely have that like late morning, early afternoon time slot on lock. Like I feel like I'm at my job and like I have my phone just like next to me. I look over, JQ's live, like right around noon, and it's like I feel like I know you as the late morning, early afternoon Mario streamer. Like that's when you can always expect to see JQ live. Like
yeah, when the sun's not out and I'm still like I haven't done it a lot lately, but when I was getting 47 like a couple years ago, I was desperate to get a run. So like I would do like 12-hour days from like
Holy shit,
10
dude.
a.m. to like almost 10 p.m. Like I would do, like get off stream, eat dinner, and then go back live and keep doing runs.
Wild.
And like it was weird when I'm live and I look out the window and it's just like pitch black out. It's just like I'm not used to this. Usually I'm just like relaxing, just like hanging out, not like grinding the game and like trying my hardest. Like I always just have an association with like during the day playing the game. It's like a comfort kind of thing for me.
I mean, I definitely you're the daytime streamer. You and dinner, I feel like are the two I always think of. But like whenever I work from home, I'll like throw one of you on the second monitor while I could do whatever.
It's hilarious the time difference with it. Like we stream at the same time and he's like 6 hours ahead of me.
Super different, yeah.
Yeah. But I like it, man. I like starting the day, like turn on the stream, drinking coffee, like getting ready to do runs. It's just like it's a cozy feeling. And I try to treat it as full time as I can, so like I try to make the most of the day with it.
Yeah.
Like streaming during the day, like stream as many hours as I can, like starting as early as I possibly can, just like be able to like put the hours in.
So I gotta ask, because I don't know if I'm missing lore or something. The dress shirt and the tie bit. I don't know if you still do that.
Yeah,
Where did that
still
come
do.
from?
Raise
What's
your
the
stonks?
history?
All right,
What's the history?
I'll give you guys the lore. So a long time ago when I first started streaming, I'm gonna need to show him this now. So one of my closest friends, his username on Twitch, I'll tell him by his username, is Ragarugi.
Mhm.
He back in 2019, when like it was before I started like working the job that I did. So once I got hired, they were like, all right, well, you're going to start in the beginning of 2020. So you have some time to just like do you. And he was like, dude, like you should so stream. Like this is like something that like I know you'll be good at. And like you could play Mario's. I've always had interest in Mario from like 2013. I used to get my phone taken away while I was doing homework in high school because I was watching Siglemic
I love that.
on it, on like my fucking iPod Touch and like my laptop. My mom used to like take it away. But like I never gave the game a fair shake until that point. And when I started playing, he started doing runs too. And like he was doing like 16 star with me, and one of the things that he did was Stock Market 64. So like he had like a whiteboard on the side of his stream, and he would like write like buy sell and like draw like stocks going up and like crazy shit. And he'd always wear the shirt and tie and just like appear to be like the stressed out like corporate finance worker, because that's kind of what we were at the time. He was working at a bank, I was working at a bank, and we were both just stressed out and hated our fucking jobs. So like I like took it with him, and I was like, when he stopped doing it, I was like, I need to carry on the legacy, because he doesn't like stream anymore. Like he didn't really have too much of an interest in playing Mario, which he could have got good if he kept at it. I will say that. But that was like the first like channel point redeem that I had on my stream, and it was just like so random. Every time people would see me in like the shirt and tie, they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? They're like, even to this day, from like 2020 to now, people will just be like, oh, did you just have a job interview or something? And I'm like, no, I'm just playing Mario.
So casual.
Do you have the tie pre-tied?
Yeah, but I know how to tie a tie.
Well, but I feel like
go.
your transition's so quick, like you have to.
Yeah, people are like, oh, like clip on. Like, look at you getting your clip on so fast. And I'm like, there's a clip of me being like, I'm going to show you fuckers how to do this, because people are always going to doubt me that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you got to come professional.
Beating the clip-on allegations, facing them right head on. You got to.
People will say it, man. Every once in a blue moon, people will be like, wow, nice clip on. And I'm like, you must be out your fucking mind, bro.
So don't go to JQ's stream and comment clip on every time you see him in the suit, in the shirt and tie.
I will lose it. I will genuinely get upset. people try to test my game like that. They don't know ball.
Oh my god. Well, JQ,
Oh,
this
my
has
goodness.
been an absolute blast. It's been phenomenal having you on. We do have one final question. We've asked every interviewee this so far.
I was thinking about this morning.
What is your Mount Rushmore of runners? Just kidding.
I was gonna say I've been thinking about that too.
I mean, you want to do both? You want to do stars and runners?
I mean, I'll do both.
All right, do both.
do
You're
both.
the
Oh,
first
let's
one to do
go.
runners. Let's go.
So
Let's go.
Runners, it's 4, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna leave out a very important person just because this is personally to me.
Is this
But
drama? Are we seeing drama?
It's not drama. It's just like the
Sounds like
person
drama.
that I'm gonna be replacing the other person with is like very personal to me, like my hero of Mario basically.
Valid.
But the first two, Sweegie and Cheese,
Yep.
I feel like you have to have them on there. Oh damn! No wait, this is harder than I thought. Now.
I like how
I'm
you
gonna
came
commit
out
to it,
so
though.
hot. You're like 1, 2, and then you're like, wait, shit, this is hard.
Yeah. Third person, I'm gonna put Kaiman, just
I like
because
that.
like Kaiman low key has the community on his back. He's
Yes,
just so
without
good
a
at
doubt.
what he does. Like I wish I could put the whole moderating team, but it's just like everybody knows that Kaiman is on his shit and he always does so much.
Kaiman is
And
on
then-
his shit. I would say one tweak to that. The whole moderating team minus me, I'm the worst mod in the world. I know I'm slacking. I don't want to like anytime people praise the mods, it's not me. Like I exclude that from myself because I haven't earned it and I don't want that's stolen valor. That's not it.
Alright,
But the
I'm gonna
rest
replace
are
Kaiman
all
with Geo then.
legends.
But for my fourth person, I have to put D whatever.
I love
D
that.
whatever is the 70 goat in my mind. He is the person in 2020 when I was working from home. He's the person that I was watching. It's deep in his 46 grind. He has been the most influential person to my game, and the one who really inspired me to work hard in this in Mario and work hard at streaming. And I've been able to spend time with him. After fall pace, he stayed at my house, and he's a good friend. He was a great guy to be around, and just in terms of him as a person and a runner, he's just inspired me like nobody else has.
I feel like
So
he's
keep him
also like a vibes guy. So that makes sense that you guys connect like that, because I just feel like he's a solid time. I would love to just grab beers with dinner. I feel like that would be a blast.
Yeah, he was awesome to hang out with, man.
Yeah.
But I was gonna put either Zaya or Ouija
Yeah.
in that spot, but I have to give it to D just because he's the man and he's the reason I do this basically. One of the reasons why I do this.
I love that. I think there must be something around the people who held the record when you joined the community, because for me it was Denner had the stranglehold on 70 at that time too. Because you said you started streaming in April of 2020. I started paying attention in June, July of 2020. So kind of the a little after the pandemic had set in. But Denner had the stranglehold on 70, and so in my mind and he had it for a long time. I mean, he held the record for years. I think over 2 years, right?
Yeah, he was 2023 Mario in 2019.
I mean,
or 2020 basically.
Crazy that he had it for so long. And so in my mind too, Denner is just the 70 goat, what he did for the category and getting that first 46, and the way he did it was just so hype. I mean, that's one of my favorite endings of a run to watch. It's just everything about it is awesome.
I've watched it double digit times.
It's so good.
Just for motivation. It's fucking awesome, bro. It's so great.
That, and then Simply's 120 world record, which was obviously he was the world record holder when I started watching too. So there's some sort of, I don't know, nostalgia or something there for me as well. But watching that world record is also one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, that is I've got to see that world record live, the 138.28, and
Unreal.
it was so awesome.
Unreal.
It's one of the coolest moments on Twitch was being able to see that world record live. was like in a Discord call with my friends, like, yo, you guys gotta check this out.
It's so cool.
It was so sick.
I love that.
I
He's
think
starting to do. He's booting up 120 runs, some serious
Yeah,
pacers.
yeah.
I think
Hopefully, keep it going.
I think Simply's world record is the first like Mario speedrun like video I've ever watched like in its entirety. Like I've seen like strats and like clips and stuff, but I never like really sat down, and this was also around like late 2020, early 2021. I saw it recommended on YouTube. I just sat down and watched the whole run. I was just fucking mesmerized. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? This is insane.
Yeah.
I feel like it can't be overstated how impactful that was for people in the community now, especially for like people getting into the game, people just getting into the game. Like just the impact it had, like not even on like the Mario community overall, but like speedrunning community and like Twitch community. Like it's, I just feel like it cannot be overstated how impactful that record was.
Totally agree. All right, so we have your runners. Probably the less. I don't know. Maybe this one will be harder. Who knows? Stars. What you got?
I feel like this is harder. So again, 4, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I have it right. The first one I'm gonna put, this is no particular order, obviously, but I'm gonna get the controversial take out of the way. I have to put Carpetless down. I have to.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably not controversial anymore, but if you said it like 3 months ago, people would probably be like, already? But it's just like, it's such a huge time save in the game, and it's just brought a different like aspect to how 120 is looked at for some people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think it's just super exciting.
I mean, I don't think it's like hyperbole to say it's like it was revolutionary in how much it changed the game.
Yeah. I think for number 2, I'm going to have to put HMC 100 because legend has it. This is still a complete, this could be a myth, but legend has it. Siglemic still does 1 HMC 100 per day because it's just that good of a star. So I feel like it has to be included because if that is true, which I don't know if it fucking is, but it's just like if it has that much of a hold on people that it's that good of a star, I feel like it has to be included.
I didn't know that lore, and I am obsessed with that. I love that so much. I love honestly, that so much.
I think I heard it from somebody like 3 years ago, and I've just like had it in the back of my mind since. I could also just be completely making that up.
Doesn't matter. I'm rolling with it. I'm going with it all the way.
I'm taking that to my fucking grave, man. He definitely does. Number 3, it's kind of tough because I do want to say something like I have to put like a Womp Star in there, like Cannonless or Owlless, but I think I would have to put Cannonless just because of how like it's essential.
Yep.
Everybody that's ever been like, oh, this game looks pretty cool to speedrun, then they see Cannonless, they're like, what the hell? Like, let me try to do that. And it's like one of those things that's like nowadays in like the modern days of Mario, like very easy for runners to pick up.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy for someone that's never played a game before to like learn how to do like plank push, and just like you feed them the inputs while they're looking down at the controller. Like it's quintessential to the game.
I do that whenever I hang out with my college roommates. None of them speedruns Mario, but like I always am like, all right, let's like I'll show you Cannonless, and it's like this cool like, oh, I'm like, you feel like you're glitch, like you're like, I'm speedrunning, I'm doing a glitch, and it's like a cool easy intro way to feel like you're gaming.
Yeah. And I think the last one for me, I'm gonna have to go back to another 100 coin star. I think it's TTC 100, man.
Great choice.
TTC 100 is what got me addicted to this game. When I was like, I'm gonna learn this. This is random lore, but very early 2021, the sewer line broke in my house, and for like a few days, me and my sister had to stay at a hotel while they got it fixed. Damn. Because we had no bathroom. Like we had to go somewhere. So I brought my CRT and I brought my N64, and I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do TTC 100. And I sat there for almost 10 hours, just like learning it and practicing it because I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so exciting, and I felt like so good to be able to learn how to do it. that like I couldn't stop.
Yep.
And I feel like that moment is where I got like I said before, like ferally addicted to the game. Like I was like foaming at the mouth, wanting to like run Mario because of how much fun I was having.
It's such a like it's the perfect display of like it's so dense with really complicated technique, and it's like if you understand Mario movement, it is just like so amazing and beautiful to watch. Like a good TTC 100, it's just like nonstop action the entire time. It's so fascinating. I love it.
It's flashy,
yes,
especially with
so
the newer
flashy
stuff these days.
Yeah,
like that wall kick. Like I know people are doing. I still do like the side flip dive thing.
yeah.
But like what Sweegie posted the other day, like that like wall kick off the wall in Mario Cam, and then you walk off the side to go to the blue coin switch. Like that is like it just adds another layer to how fucking cool it is.
It's the coolest star. It's so cool. I was obsessed with. I used to like watch Zufi stream every single night back when he was streaming 2020, 2021. And he would, in his warm-ups, he would do like a ton of TTC 100, and it's just like mesmerizing. I just sit there, like not even blinking, just like watching, taking it in, and it's just like, this is awesome. This is so cool to watch.
Yeah, he was the only, if I could just say very quick, at pace, like last pace, the first time I met him, he was like the one runner when I was like, holy shit, like it's you, like it's actually Zufi. Like he was the only runner at that point where he like walked up to me and shook my hand and like vaguely knew my name. He did, but at first he was like Jaquarium, right?
That's
and
sick.
I was like, holy shit, it's Zufi.
That would have gone straight to my head.
That was awesome.
I would have been like, holy shit, am I a big deal? He knows me. Oh yeah, man,
that star is amazing.
Great Mount Rushmores, both of them. Thanks for doing the first ever Mount Rushmore of runners. I love that.
I know. I feel like honored. I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to have been the first one.
No, I wouldn't have it any other way. And it was unplanned. It was spontaneous. Zeus and I did not talk about that beforehand. I was watching your face, Zeus, as I was saying it. And then like I wasn't sure. What did you expect me to say? I'm curious. Did you know I was going to do that?
I was like, because we always like kind of joke about it every single time, because the reaction from the interview is always, oh my God, I thought you were going to ask me runners. And every single time we're like, okay, next time. So it's like every time Gio starts asking that question, it's like, is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the one? It's like the anticipation's just building, and then he finally said it. I'm like, yes.
Well, with
may or may not have been in the contract.
Yeah, exactly. Don't read the fine print. Just sign it, send it back. It's not a big deal. I was like, truly, I didn't even know what I was going to say when I started asking the question, but then I saw Zeus's face and I was like, I don't know. I just kind of want to see his reaction if I do it.
Beautiful. Man. It was beautiful.
No, that was awesome. Zeus, do you have any final questions?
Oh man. You're going to pace, right, JQ?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Well, he's
regardless of whether I'm on the stage or I'm hanging out. We got like an Airbnb planned with homies. Like I'm very excited for it. I will be there.
Fuck yeah. Let's go. See you there.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Let's do it.
JQ, thank you so much for being on. Everyone go follow JQ, check out his stream, give him some support. He's an awesome streamer, incredible Mario runner. Just a blast to hang out in his stream and shitpost in the chat. It's a great time. So do that, show some support. Thanks so much for being on. We'd love to have you on again in the future. And best of luck this weekend. Kick ass. Get a 139 for us.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna give it my all. We'll see how it goes.
I love it. Best of luck. Bye.